And the logistics for domestic tour are usually easier. I usually tell people you have one driver throughout the tour. It's basically checking in to hotels in the evening, checking out in the morning. You've got your same people. Where you get international, now you have flights and distance and check-ins and different guides and different transportation companies. And so there's a lot more there to do. Yeah. Any challenges you've had overseas that you can, I know there's been a few, to say the least, but
I don't even know where to begin with this. Okay. I have so many stories that have happened to me over the years. I just have so many stories.
Tell them the one about you were in Thailand, the King's holiday, or the King's birthday.
It was a one-off tour. It wasn't somebody just recommended me, and I was actually coming from doing a ship gig, and they said, well, can you just pick this up? We hear that you have experience. Okay. So we met the passengers in Bangkok. It was just a small group of people, and they had to get down to this conference, sort of like towards the end of the tail park. Thailand's round, there's a skinny tail. But anyway, we were headed towards the hotel, and I always call, or I have my driver call, or the step-on guide call, and they weren't answering the phone, the hotel. Turns out the hotel burned down. It burned. And because it was the King's birthday, I mean, it was a national holiday and everything was completely booked up. And I remember, and this is an example, you need to always look around, what's going on. I have a plan B and plan C. There was an international school in back of us. So we turned around and I said to my guide, you go find the English teacher. So long story short, the English teacher's house put up our passengers in their own homes because, again, there was no hotels. And then it was a national holiday. We all went to the town square, and there's a Jumbotron TV, and we're watching all the proceedings from Bangkok on the TV. And then some of the husbands of the teachers were fishermen, and they went out and they caught us fresh fish, and we had this bonfire on the beach. It turned out to be one of the best days of my life. But if you have to think fast, because that's your job. There's no time for me to call the tour operator and say, hey, the hotel burned down, because it could be 2:00 in the morning.
They're probably sleeping.
And that's my job to figure it out. So that's what you just have to. But I love that. I mean, I love it when it happens.
Yeah, and it's funny when people go out on tours the first time. The first thing they talk about is a challenge. They say, "You were sitting on my shoulder. You're right. Those things happen."
And you have to remain really calm. You can't let the passengers feel your nervousness. And believe me, I was really nervous during that whole episode, but it worked out just fine.
We often say teachers, healthcare, and actors make good tour directors. And I think we're a combination of all of those anyway. So.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And a social worker and a cop. I've had disputes among passengers too over the.
Oh, I almost had a physical fight with a couple.
Oh, I've had a physical fight. Oh. What are you talking about? There was one time when I had these women, and they were sitting in back of each other, and one of them was just popping the gum. And during one of the breaks, I pulled her aside and I said, you know what, can you just not pop your gum? It was really nice.